Good morning, everyone. I'm Linda Toden. Welcome to our online service today for Unity Spiritual Centre of Windsor, Ontario, Canada. I am so glad that you could join us today. We are happy to have our licensed Unity teacher, Mariette Jones, as our guest speaker. Her talk title today is Mirror, Mirror. Mariette asks that you go and get a pen and some paper because she's got a little activity lined up for us. So let's be ready for that. Before we continue, I invite you to listen to our prayer today. I went to the Daily Word and decided, that's the one I'm going to do. The theme was Divine Order is always unfolding in my life and in the world. So I read it over and I said, this is a beautiful prayer, and then came to mind this poem that my father had read to us as children, and I thought, it was such a beautiful poem, and I don't know why it came to mind, but I decided I think I'll read that instead. The name of the poem is Trees. It was written by Joyce Kilmer in 1919. So that's quite a while ago, but of course still appropriate because we still have trees. So the poem goes like this. I think that I shall never see a poem as lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the sweet earth's flowing breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. And there's a Bible verse that goes with that poem, and so I'd just like to read that to you. It was in the Daily Word as well, from Mark 4:28. The earth produces of itself first the stalk, then the head, then the full grain in the head. Amen. Now, before Mariette comes up to speak, let's listen to an original song by Rickie Byars Beckwith. We are very happy to have Rickie's permission to use her music and video of her song, Holy, Holy Way. Enjoy.
Let me love in a holy, holy way. a little kinder. Let me talk, you stay a little. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy
prayer. So at this time, it may be helpful to call into your mind a resentment. It could be big, it could be a small irritation. And we're going to work on the forgiveness at this time. So the forgiving love of God moves through me and blesses others. When someone hurts me or someone I love, I may feel justified holding on to thoughts of resentment. I may even defend my indignation. Yet deep inside, I know the truth. Only forgiveness can bring me the true healing that I need. It is not in my nature to harbor thoughts of ill will toward anyone. As I cling to resentment, I only harm myself. Today, I release others from blame. I let go of resentment and negative thinking. Forgiveness lifts a heavy load from my soul and from my heart. I feel free, refreshed, and renewed. I am able to feel the love of God, the love of Spirit, fully in my body and mind as I breathe more deeply and feel radiating waves of peace. So that irritation and resentment, you can just completely let go with that prayer. The scripture I'm going to open up the talk today with is 1 Corinthians 11:12. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became an adult, I put an end to childish ways. For now, we see in a mirror clearly. We see in a mirror dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part, then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known. So this scripture is speaking to me about how when we are children, we look outside of ourselves for answers. And we also have difficulty even knowing our feelings. And as we mature, we take ownership of our feelings, hopefully. And when we do this, we can be known more and more fully as we become more and more authentic. So as we transition into growing up and maturing, we realize that all we will ever need is within us. And this can be one of the biggest lessons to learn. For me, it seemed to take forever. You know, it's difficult when we struggle as a child with perhaps unhealthy relationships and family dynamics. And myself, I had a difficult relationship with my mother. So I spent a lot of my adulthood stuck in childhood searching for that mother that I needed. And that, of course, was outside of me, right? So I was in a in a cycle of being stuck. But this life is for learning, and it really doesn't matter how long it takes to get the lesson, because this is the reason we're here on this Earth University, right? Sometimes we can put pressure on ourselves to get it all in a certain time frame. So it took me actually a good part of my life to understand that all the answers that I would ever need were inside of me. And unity really helped me get the lesson. When I was taking classes, Lisa Lee and Jim Lee were teaching a class about how, we are trained to put our trust and faith in a God out there. And they were actually encouraging us to take a look at that and let go of that belief. And to know that the spirit of wisdom resides within each of us. So there was actually one slide on the PowerPoint that showed a picture of a superhero like Superman with Jesus Christ's face on it, right? It's just swooping in to rescue any one of us, if we've been good enough or not, whatever, if we're in trouble. And I was able to take a look at that, understanding that, yeah, I did look at God and, my spiritual teachers that way, always looking to them. If I could just find someone that was strong enough, smart enough that I could latch onto, I could perhaps find my good in that person. So, yeah, in the last 10 years, I have definitely been able to blossom and grow, because I know that my good is rooted in me. My faith is something that I can trust in. And then I've been blossoming and growing ever since. And each of us is called to that, to begin building the foundation from within. Spirit never gives up on us. I think of the salmon that swim upstream to make their way to spawn, to lay their eggs. And life is constantly begetting life against all odds. And so, it's human nature to want to give up and, but it's the divinity within us that never gives up. It is life always pushing forward. The buds, we just had the spring season, didn't we? The flowers pushing forward through the cracks in the cement. So we can always turn to the divinity within us, and we will be able to have the courage and the strength and the persistence to push forward. It's really quite a ride, this life we live. I remember as a younger woman, I agreed against my better judgment to go whitewater rafting with my husband and some friends. And yeah, I was terrified. So I was hoping this is in West Virginia, and I was hoping for one of those big 10-person rafts, and maybe I could find my way to the middle of it, and anybody that knew what they were doing could actually do the paddling, and I could just go for the ride. So actually the river was too low for these big 10-person rafts. We would hit the rocks, so that wouldn't work. So we were given our individual rafts, where they're called ducks, and they're formed into the shape of a kayak, and they're rubber rafts, but they also move like a kayak, so they're completely different than the 10-person raft. And I was like, now what? So I'm on the river getting trained to use this kayak, and I find out, it's not as hard as I thought. And actually, as I'm paddling my way down the river in my own little duck, I'm preferring this because I'm taking responsibility for myself and it feels good. There's a payoff in that, isn't there? And we get to, the things that we work towards on our own, we get to claim the credit for it. Yeah, we got to work our butt off, but we get to claim the credit for that. And we get to mature and grow, and it feels good. So the other thing that I thought about as I was going down that river is how it's such a metaphor for life, because there's a calm river, and then there's the rapids, which, I negotiated somehow, just staying strong and paddling paddling as hard as I could, and I got popped out on the other side and to the calm river again. And that's also a hit of adrenaline right there, which is a lot of fun. And of course I was hooked, but it just didn't stop me from dreading the next test of my skill for the next set of rapids. Starting as it gets closer, you start going, oh, can I do it? So it's a really good metaphor for our journey of this life. That's what we do, isn't it? Anytime that we have to enter into discomfort, don't we start dreading it? When we see like clouds looming ahead, we knew that the COVID-19 was like looming ahead. It's like, well, how can I avoid this trouble? Like, there's got to be a way I can squirm through this one. And there wasn't. Each of us had to like deal, right, with the discomfort. But haven't you noticed that it's in this discomfort that we do our best growing, and we're called to rise up into our strength, and like miracles actually, when we stay with it, that's when the miracle can happen and we become more than we ever knew we could become. Right? So it's a very interesting thing to think about, discomfort, and how we dread it and yet we need it. So as much as we naturally want to self-protect, it is the courageous lover of life, the wholeness warrior that proceeds into the rapids, the dark parts of life, and transforms self-concepts and releases the fear embedded in our soul. So in her book, Rising Strong, Brené Brown says this about a scene in Star Wars. Luke and Yoda are standing in a dark swamp that they've been training in when a strange look, overcomes Luke, and he points towards a dark cave at the base of a giant tree. And looking at Yoda, he says, "There's something not right here. I feel cold, death." Yoda explains to Luke that the cave is dangerous and strong with the dark side of the Force. Luke looks confused and quite frightened, and Yoda's response is simply, "In you must go." When Luke asks what's in the cave, Yoda explains, "Only what you take with you." As Luke straps on his weapons, Yoda hauntingly advises, "Your weapons, you will not need them." The cave is dark and thick with vines. Steam eerily rises off the ground while a large snake winds its way over a branch. And a prehistoric lizard perches on a limb. As Luke slowly makes his way through the cave, he is confronted by his enemy, Darth Vader. They both draw their lightsabers, and Luke quickly cuts off Vader's helmeted head. The head rolls to the ground, and the face guard blows off the helmet, revealing Darth Vader's face. Except it isn't Vader. It's Luke's face. Luke is staring at his own head on the ground. What a metaphor for the mirror. Walking into our stories of failure and hurt is like walking into that cave in Yoda's swamp. It can feel dangerous and foreboding, and what we must ultimately confront is our own fear. The most difficult part of our stories is often what we bring to them, what we make up about who we are and how we are perceived by others. Yes, maybe we failed or screwed up on a project, but what really makes that story so painful is what we tell ourselves about our self-worth and value. I am a failure. I am a screw up. That's devastating, right? Owning our stories means acknowledging our feelings and wrestling with those hard emotions, the fear, the anger, the aggression, the shame, and the blame. Now, this ain't easy, but the alternative, denying our stories, repressing them, disengaging from emotion, means choosing to live our entire life in the dark. It means no accountability, no learning, and no growth. So I find this story and Brené's comments on the story so helpful. We need to go into the dark simply to shed light on the situation at hand. We know what is what when we are courageous and turn the light on in a messy room. There is a clutter of old beliefs to clear, weeping wounds that have been ignored, and self-loathing to be released and forgiven and transmuted into self-admiration. It is true that in a relationship with a loved one, our loved one offers us a mirror and we do see ourselves clearly, exactly as we are. You know, some aspects we will admire. We will discover how brilliant we are. We will discover treasures we have always yearned for. Some aspects will tempt us to shrink and hide. I won't like what we see. In my first marriage, I discovered this. But do not hide. Fear not. Face those uglier aspects with the light of unconditional love. You have it in your heart. Reverend Jim Lee recommends that every time you have a critical, judgmental thought, to send unconditional love to it from your heart. What he is saying quite clearly in the last class I took with him, what he was teaching is that judgment is actually our ally. Judgment is pointing to a wound. So let's say you have a judgment of, oh, I never get that right, or I always screw up, or why did I do that again? I always forget. It can point to a wound of I'm never enough. That's a big wound. And the temptation is to cover the wound with judgment. But if we just look at the judgment, send it unconditional love, ask for the gift that it's pointing to, and send our wound and sit with that and send our wound unconditional love through journaling, facing our feelings, embracing ourselves. We will heal ourselves. And never again need we fear judgment. It is our ally. Even if the judgment is about somebody else, remember the mirror. You are simply looking at something in that person that is reminding you of something that you hate about yourself. So taking ownership means acknowledging and thanking the judgment for pointing to an ignored and neglected wound. And again, shining the light of unconditional love upon this judgment and the accompanying false belief. The invitation is to see what is, forgive what is, and embrace what is. Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder of Unity, began her healing journey with seeing what was, forgiving what was, and then embracing what was, and eventually healing herself of tuberculosis. Myrtle Fillmore is our example, our way shower, just as Jesus is. One of the things Jesus said, found in Luke 6:32-33, is this: if you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. If you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? Yes, what credit indeed? How does it help you? To only include people in your life that make you feel good, that think like you. Motivational speaker Les Brown said once, as I was listening as part of his audience, run, don't walk away from negative people. You know, I thought about this impactful exhortation for a long time because it really hit me, and I really wanted to think about that. Wasn't sure how I felt about it, and eventually I decided that I disagree. And you know, on Facebook, a lot of times I hear people saying, you know, just get rid of the people that are toxic in your life, you know. Okay, I understand. Strong boundaries are needed, and I myself have backed up a lot of times in order to work out stuff that I needed to work out. But I disagree with getting rid, because really I see that it's ego at work again. I see fear. We are called to be an example of unconditional love. And if those people are a mirror for us, are we really not just rejecting ourselves? So, yeah, I was thinking that one could get supremely lonely getting busy cutting off ties with all the negative people, the selfish people in our life. I totally must say here, boundaries are very important in order to stand strong in a relationship with a negative person, and developing your voice. My voice was necessary to speak with I statements, speak the truth of my heart. For example, I was in a relationship with a really good friend, and she was critical towards me a lot, and I needed to back up. So I worked out my stuff with her by backing up. I was able to think about it, and I realized that when she was critical of me, I was not able to speak my truth from my heart. I shut down. So she actually was a mirror to me and taught me so much about myself and my woundedness, my inability, my handicap. And I've been able to work on this, and now I'm actually grateful to her, you know. And so this is what I'm saying, that every person is an opportunity to grow and learn. And so I'm a proponent of not burning bridges, actually. And even those that we can't see anymore because it's just, you know, doesn't work, we can pray for them and keep the bridge intact in this way. So I'd like to read a poem by Rumi because he really speaks well to this concept. Rumi speaks to the inner guest house in his poem, "This being human is a guest house. Every day a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. They may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. One of the lines that jumps out at me, meet them at the door laughing? Are you crazy, Rumi? But it's an astounding piece of advice. But then it occurs to me, wait a minute, he's brilliant. He's crazily brilliant, because laughing at ourselves is exactly what's needed. My husband taught me to laugh at myself and to lighten up. He's a very funny guy. And doesn't laughing at ourselves, like when we're being like really, we know we're wrong, like when we're ego or something and we begin to laugh, doesn't it just break it all up and just allow us to like move on and let go? So it is so healing. And we do know how detrimental taking ourselves so extremely seriously is. Cherie Carter Scott says, one of the rules for being human is that others are merely mirrors for you. You cannot love or hate something about another person unless it reflects something you love or hate about yourself. This being the case, I want to do an exercise with you now. So get your pen and your paper together and list 3 people, whether they are alive on this earth or not, that you admire. Now, I'm keeping this exercise very short to 3 people, but at another time, later when you have time, you can expand it to 10 people. So on one side of the page, you've got the names of those 3 people, and then next to the names, jot down the qualities that you admire about them. I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. Okay, so it's okay if you're not quite complete, but definitely you can work on this later. So since it is true that you wouldn't see these qualities unless you saw them you knew that they were within yourself, that person is a mirror. These qualities are aspects of yourself that you can actually give yourself permission right now to celebrate. This is who you are. And I'm not saying that they're fully developed, but that's up to you, right? You can make of yourself what you want. Now, create an affirmation with these positive aspects you see in yourself. So for example, if the qualities that you admired in another are courage, commitment, passion, loving, your affirmation could go something like this. I am a passionate, consistently courageous person, fully committed to loving myself and all others. So go ahead and do that now. Take those words and create an affirmation. So now that you've got this written out, you can memorize it or stick it up in a mirror in your bathroom, in your bedroom. And it'll be a nice reminder when you go to the mirror. And when you go to the mirror, look into your eyes. Remember, Jesus said they're the windows of the soul. And look deep into your eyes and use that mantra that affirmation to remind yourself of what you are. For the uncomfortable parts of ourselves, the parts that we want to shy away from, I have a welcome prayer created by spiritual teacher Mary Mosowski. This is my rendition. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I welcome you, dear angry feeling today, because I know this is for my healing. I welcome you, dear judgment, for pointing to the wound that I have disowned. I now send the light of unconditional love to this wound. I thank you, dear judgment, for the gift you bring to me. I look for the hidden gift in every negative thought. So you can say some form of this prayer, anytime you want, and you can repeat it until you feel, the warmth of acceptance just flooding your soul. Even if you just say the first 3 words when you feel an irritation or some kind of judgment, if you just say the 3 first words, welcome, 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 and just stop there, you'll feel the shift. At least I do. Try it. So let us take these realizations and contemplations into prayer and meditation now. Just prepare yourself. So just still yourselves. Become still. And plant your feet on the floor and sit straight. Place your hands on your lap or wherever is comfortable. Breathe deeply, releasing longer exhalations. Relax. Relax. Release. Let go of all tension. It's safe now to just bring to your mind something that bothers you about yourself. And something that is an Achilles heel for you. Something that bugs you. Are you a procrastinator? Are you fearful, short-tempered, selfish? Whatever that thing is, bring it to your mind now. Focus. Feel and breathe into what you are experiencing this moment in your body. Welcome what you are experiencing this moment in your body. It's an opportunity to consent to the divine indwelling. Let go by saying the following sentences after me. I let go of the desire for security, affection, control. I let go of the desire to change what I am experiencing. I embrace this moment as it is. So we're going to take this into the silence, and we'll just meditate for 3 minutes. So just come back to this time and place. Jesus said a prayer of thanksgiving when he was on the earth. He said, "Oh Father, Lord of heaven and earth, thank you for hiding these things from those who think themselves wise and clever, for revealing them to the childlike." We too give thanks to Great Spirit for guiding us in each moment to humble ourselves and therefore be gifted to see the truth about ourselves and others with crystal clear vision. In our hearts, let us express gratitude for all that has been revealed to us in this time together, all that is being constantly revealed to us for our healing and wholeness. Amen, and so it is.
Thank you, Mariette, for that wonderful talk. I am really glad that you used all those personal experiences in your talk. It allows us to realize that we are always learning and always growing. Thank you also for providing that easy remedy, too. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think embracing our faults is one of the hardest things that we can do. But you make it seem so easy. Thank you again. And now I'd like to extend my gratitude to Michelle Rohl for providing us with music today. Let's listen to her sing, That's Why I'm Here.
My heart beats with you. These hands will lift you up when you're down. My eyes see through your fears. These arms will always long to hold you near. If I could bring you peace, if I could live in joy, then I would have learned everything that I have come to learn, and feel the love coming back in return. That's why I'm here. That's why I came to be the light, to feel the love. That's why I'm here. That's why I came to play along and sing this song. That's why I am here. If life is give and take, we will receive the love we make without restraint. So I'll leave the shadows and let go. Lead with my heart and never with my head, and let God run the show. That's why I'm here. That's why I came to be the light, to feel the love. That's why I'm here. That's why I came to play along and sing this song. That's why I am here. Oh, we all live and learn. Doesn't always mean we know why we're here or how to keep it simple with loving and giving. If I could bring you peace, if I
feel the love coming back in return. That's why I'm here. That's why I came to be the light, to feel your love. That's why I'm here. That's why I came to sing along and play this song. That's why I am here. Oh, that's why I'm here. That's why I came to be the light, to feel your love. That's why I'm here. That's why I came to play along and sing this song. That's why I am. That's why I am. That's why I am
We give thanks to Michelle Rohl and John Jones for special permission to use their music and video. We want to thank all of you out there who continue to support this ministry with your time and generous donation of tithes and love offerings, especially during these challenging times. We could not continue to provide our programs and services without your support. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. It is easy to donate. We accept e-transfer or PayPal sent to unitycenterwindsor@gmail.com. You can also click the blue donate button at the top of our website, which will take you to Canada Helps, a safe and secure site where you can make a one-time or recurring donation using a credit or debit card. Or you can send a check or money order to our office. For further information, visit our website at www.unityofwindsor.org. Again, thank you and bless you for your loving and generous support. In these interesting times, here at Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor, we are exploring different ways to provide more online services, classes, and opportunities to meet virtually. Information about all of our upcoming classes and events can be found on our website at www.unityofwindsor.org. If you do not receive our weekly newsletter, please contact us and we will add you to our email list. As we come near to the end of our service today, we would like to thank everyone again for joining us. Before we close with a short prayer of gratitude and our prayer for protection, I would like to remind you of our vision, mission, and statement of being, which are found on the screen. You can say these either out loud or to yourself. First is our vision statement. A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our mission statement. We inspire and empower spiritual growth to awaken us and transform the world. And our statement of being. I am a dynamic center of the Christ light, mighty to unfold my good and radiate that good to all. Let's open our hearts and minds in gratitude as we close by speaking out loud or silently to ourselves our love offering prayer, followed by the prayer for protection. Divine love in me and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And now the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. Our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker today and the musicians who provided the music for us, Mike Karloff, Rickie Byars Beckwith, and Michelle Rohl. Have a wonderful week, everyone.